Hi, this is Ryan Lawler. I'm here with TechCrunch TV at the pre-money conference for 500 startups. I'm here with Naval Ravikant of AngelList. Naval, you have started AngelList how many years ago now?
My co-founder, Babak Nivi, and I started 3.5 years ago.
3.5 years ago, and it's evolved a lot. So get us up to speed on how big it is, how many profiles you have,
Yep.
and how many startups are participating.
Yeah, it started as a mailing list for startups and investors, and it has grown now. We have about 18,000 accredited investors on there. Probably about 6,000 what we call sophisticated VCs, super angels, people who have done a lot of deals, and many who are aspirational. And we have about 100,000 startup profiles on there. Again, many of which are small and unfunded and aspirational, but a few thousand that have gone on to get funded, probably about 3,000 through AngelList. We make about 500 or more introductions between startups and entrepreneurs every week. Startups and investors every week. And we make about 2,000 right now every week between startups and talent. So these are companies that might have failed, and they're developers, designers, founders are looking for new gigs. Obviously, they want to work for startups so they can meet good companies on AngelList.
Okay, so how do you track that? How do you figure out how these introductions are made?
Yep. So if you go to the site and you create a startup profile, investors will reach out to you and they'll say, get an intro. They'll click a button and then we'll fire off an email introduction between them. On the talent side, startups will look at a group of profiles of entrepreneurs and designers and developers and say, yes, I'm interested in meeting that person. That person will be notified. If they're interested in meeting you back, they say yes as well, and then we make a mutual introduction.
Okay.
So introduction is usually a double opt-in from both sides, where both sides have expressed interest in meeting each other, and then they follow up with a phone call or a coffee or a meeting or what have you.
Okay, and then that's actually driving people to invest. What data do you have around that?
Yeah, so there we have less good data because a lot of the investing happens offline. Sometimes the startups will come back and confirm that they raised money through an investor. They'll put down how much they've raised, and we'll know that we introduced the investors, so we get credit for that. When we do track that data, and we've done some intense studies on it, it works out to about $10 million a month or a little bit more. We also now have a facility where investors who are investing small dollar amounts, $1,000, $5,000, $10,000 into a company, can invest that amount entirely online. And so we'll handle the wires and the ACH, we'll bundle it all up into a single fund, and that single entity will invest inside the company. And that mechanism is moving about $2 million a month right now, and that's perfectly trackable.
Okay, so that's sort of an interesting change in the market. As part of a crowdfunding platform, I mean, how do you think about AngelList now? Like, are you primarily looking to make money from, these introductions, or the actual investments that happen on the platform, or maybe recruiting?
Yeah, I don't see us making money from introductions or charging investors or startups. I don't think anyone wants a middleman in this mix. When we're assembling funds, there's a cost associated with those. We have to set up an LLC, we have to appoint a manager, we have to handle the K1s and all the accounting. So it can get pretty messy, so we will cover our costs there. And there's some liability associated with them too, so you have to have some coverage there. On the recruiting side, it's very easy to monetize. We don't do that today because we still are scaling up the service, and we view it very much as a public service to startups. But over time, we will charge on that side, but probably much less than anybody else in the space charges. So that's probably where the money will come from.
Okay, excellent. And so what do you see as sort of the future of AngelList? You're adding features all the time. You just added referrals from clients and stuff like that. What other things can you add, or other services can you provide?
One is we can encompass more and more parts of what goes into a startup. So we recently added the ability for you to get your customer references in one place from verified, validated customers, show them to investors once, and not have to hand out phone numbers and email addresses to every investor that you meet. So you can also see that we allow you now to structure what kind of product you have, so that in the future we can build a directory of what products are being offered by which startups, and who's reputable, and what kind of pricing they're charging, what kind of discounts they're giving, et cetera. You could see us helping match up startups with acquirers. We already help very early stage startups find co-founders. And then we're also driving applications, structured high quality applications into accelerators and incubators. And today, AngelPad, Techstars, Marketer Lab, 500 startups all take applications through AngelList. There's about 40 accelerators now taking applications through AngelList. So you can create your profile once, and you can apply to an accelerator, and you can get an answer back in a set period of time.
Okay, excellent. Well, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Glad that you're here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.